everyone, it's Lauren again, and in this video I want to talk about special interest. As most of you all know, I was diagnosed on the autism spectrum when it was poorly understood, and that was back in 1987 when I was 5 years old, but at that time they called it pervasive developmental disorder, and later I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome when it was introduced in criteria in 1994. My special interest is roller coasters. Special interests are a common symptom of high-functioning autism, and as a matter of fact, it used to be one of the main symptoms required for diagnosis of Asperger's syndrome. We always went to our local amusement park multiple times in one summer, and I absolutely fell in love with going there. My mom's brother and his wife, and they would come to Kentucky and visit us every chance that they could, and also my aunt that here in Kentucky and her husband used to live in Michigan, and they would all come and get together in the summertime, usually right before Easter and around the 4th of July. And they always come down multiple times whenever they could. And one of the things that we always did together as a family would go to our local amusement park, and I was in heaven riding all of the rides. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I was wanting to get on and off the rides constantly. How old was I when I rode my first roller coaster? I was probably 4 years old, and I've been hooked ever since. So how did I get into roller coasters? Because we went to our local amusement park every chance that we could. Mom would take us there every chance that she could, in addition to our annual family trip there that we always took with my mom's brothers and sisters when they came in. And how do I feel? Whenever I get off of a roller coaster, I always feel blessed, confident, like I've achieved something, and really good about myself. As I got older, my roller coaster interest definitely continued, and it's still there to this day, and I don't feel like it's going to slow down anytime soon, because as of this publishing, I've got plenty more roller coasters that I want to ride. I rode the bigger of the two roller coasters at our local park when I was almost 12, because my mom wouldn't let me get on it prior to that because she was terrified of them. And when I was 13, I rode my first upside down roller coaster. I had never even heard of a roller coaster fan club until I was 14. For Christmas the year that I was 14, one of my presents was a roller coaster VHS tape of 14 different roller coasters across the United States, and a book from this catalog company that my mom got at where she worked at. And I was beyond thrilled and love it. Yes, I wore it out. I watched it constantly. It was on that video that I heard about a roller coaster fan club. I asked my mom one day if I could join it, and she was like, well, how do you join? And honestly, I didn't know. If I would have known, I would have tried to get myself involved in it. From 95 until 99, the company that made that video produced other ones, and I had every video in the whole series. And it wasn't until 1997 that I did join a roller coaster fan club, and for my 16th birthday, I got to ride one of the roller coasters on that video, because that roller coaster at the time was one of the world's tallest and fastest. And the day of my birthday, I got to ride that particular coaster, and it was close to where my family lived in Pennsylvania. So they all went with me on that day, and I was like, yeah, I felt on cloud 9 when I got off that roller coaster and I was like, I gotta do it again. I don't care. And as we left the park that day, my cousin's husband had a computer at the time, and he said that he was going to try to find some information on a roller coaster fan club. And I told him about one that I heard about, and that would probably be the best bet to go. And a week later, I get information from them about a website about joining a roller coaster fan club, and it was in no time that I was in that club. I knew I wanted to join. I've only been to a handful of events with this roller coaster fan club because my family is always busy in the summer, and the times that I wanted to go to events, there was always something to come up in my family's life. For example, my sister always likes to go to this music festival in our area, and it's always near the same week as the Coaster Club's national convention. And the times that I have been to these roller coaster club events, it's been a true blessing because I was able to come close to meeting some friends that I could share something in common with. And that right there is very important for people on the autism spectrum as well as neurotypicals. When I was a teenager, especially if I really, really wanted something or if I found something really interesting, I would talk about it obsessively. And at one point, my doctor at the time was concerned about me having too much of an obsessive interest in roller coasters. I didn't see it as harmful in any way, as long as I was healthy and wasn't doing anything that could harm my health in any way. But despite all this, my mom and dad still took me to the parks anyway, and it wasn't a problem because we found ways to afford it and we didn't go in debt over it. I was happy, and it made me feel better about myself to get on roller coasters because there's something peaceful about going over that 200-foot drop at 75 and 80 miles an hour and just feeling the wind hitting your face, or going upside down at 100 plus feet in the air. And based on my experiences, when people try to reduce my special interest in roller coasters, it didn't help because it made me feel bad about myself. And I feel like it's fine to develop other interests. I do have other interests besides roller coasters, but not a lot. I feel like special interests can be useful. My dad has a special interest, or I think he does. My whole family loves the Ford brand of cars, and I feel like if it were possible, my dad would own every Mustang that Ford ever made. He's mechanically inclined. He is in a fan club for people that love Ford Mustangs, and they meet once a month at a local pizza place in our area. So how would I suggest dealing with special interests if you have one? So number one, teach your kids ways of saving money for their special interests. And examples of this can be whatever works for you, like cash back, saving coins, credit card points, coupons, etc. It's amazing what you can do when you keep track of your spending. And recently, I started this thing where you can upload receipts. There's a lot of apps where you can upload receipts and you can get money back for buying stuff like Fetch and Receipt Hog. And for my gas, I use this app called Upside, and it's basically a cashback app. And you can also use them for hotel stays too, like on Expedia and hotels.com. The last time that I did anything, for like the second time ever, I went to the National Coaster Con event in 2023 because that year it was reasonable because it was kind of close to where we lived. And I paid for my hotel with credit card points that I had accumulated over the years. Number 2, teach them to find others that share their special interest. When you find other people that share your special interest, it makes you feel better about yourself, because I felt better about myself when I'm intermingling with other coaster enthusiasts. And why? Because we all share the same passion and we're at the parks for the same reason. Number 3, figure out ways to put your special interest to good use. There's this kid that I subscribe to on YouTube. He was able to put his special interest with roller coasters to good use. But they made t-shirts, and that's how he got all the money to travel to all the parks with. And one time he gave one of his t-shirts to a kid in his neighborhood that was suffering from cancer. Are you feeling concerned about your child's or your spouse's special interest? I'm going to suggest this. These are some questions that I want you to consider before you think about if their special interest is a problem or not. Number 1, is keeping up with the Joneses more important than true happiness? Yes or no? Number 2, has it harmed the health of themselves or anyone else? Yes or no? Number 3, has it put you in financial distress? Yes or no? In conclusion, if you answered no to all the above questions, I would strongly suggest to allow your child to enjoy their special interest, because more than likely it's probably just an annoyance for you to hear them talk about their special interest all the time. Support their special interest, and remember that true happiness is important to success. I'm also a firm believer that having a special interest keeps kids motivated and less likely to make unhealthy choices. All right, guys. Thank you. Bye.